Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I am on with the next lot of prompts for hashtag show us how you organise. So this is a collaboration that's co-hosted by the lovely Sherry at Turquoise Dreaming and Susan at Susan Hiles Art. So I'll link them down below and check out their videos, and they have listed the other people that are involved underneath. So you can go check them out too and see what they're showing us with their organisation. So this week we've got ink, adhesive and tools. So that's going to be interesting. I think it's a bit of a quick one this week. So if I do more organisation after showing you this one, it might be more papers and that, but we'll see. So of course you can also find the other people involved if you type hashtag show us how you organise. Now the organise is with the Z if you're here in Australia. I keep having to remind myself that. Type that into your YouTube search bar and it should come up with a list of the videos that we've all been making for this collaboration. So I thought what I would do is show you how I organise the tools that are on my desk for now. I do have a couple of containers which I keep tools that I use regularly in, and they were getting pretty dusty, so I've emptied the big one out, dusted it down, although you'd never know, and I thought I can show you the tools that I keep handy while I put them back into the container. So first I want to show you, I've got this little rotating pencil organizer that I got from Spotlight or a cheap shop or something for about $2. Now in this I store some pens, a pencil. You always need a pencil, it's got a rubber on the end. I've got a normal pencil, and I've also got one of these push down button pencils that you probably see me use heaps because I find that really handy. I've also got a black and white Signo pen. These are great for, they're like gel pens and they're great for outlining mixed media pieces, writing. The white especially you can write on your black papers and that with, so I find them handy to have. I also have a couple of just normal pens if I want to write myself some notes. I have, what is this? Oh, that's just the packaging for some of my die storage, probably ones that I needed to buy more of. I'll put that aside. That does not need to be there. I have a silicone, what do you call these things? Spatula brush wipey thing. I've seen people use this sort of thing to apply Mod Podge, matte mediums, paints, anything like that. So I thought I would grab one of those, and I do use it on occasion. I have this, which is just a mist sprayer. It has nothing in it, so I should probably put some water in it, but that will be handy for mixed medias. I also have my water pens. I have a thick nibbed one and a thinner nibbed one. There's a thin one and a thick one. So keep those handy. We use them for our napkins, to pull our napkins apart, so it's always good to have them handy for that, and for some watercolouring. And I've got this real thick nibbed one here. I just leave the nib there because I assume I might be able to unscrew the ones that are on here and screw this on, hopefully. So that is what is in there. Now I used to keep these bits in the next container I'm going to show you, but it just got a bit fiddly, and I thought, why not have this sort of thing in this container? And it gives me more room in the other one for bits and pieces. So I'll show that to you now. So I must have got this container 20 odd years ago, so do not ask me where I got it from, but most likely a cheap shop or an op shop. So as you can see, it has multiple compartments. These little bits come out if you just want a big compartment there. It is black, so I don't know how much you'll be seeing of it, and it has these little dividers that you can remove and put elsewhere if you want to. It doesn't really fit with the aesthetics of my craft room, but it is so handy, so I keep going back to using this to store the majority of my tools in on my desk. So what I store in here is, I do have a notepad, so that fits in there. I have this super trimmer. It's a nice little one, so I put that in there to try and remind myself that I have it and use it. So I have this, which I got recently. It's a writing guide. I haven't used it yet, but I want to remember that I've got it, so I put it in here. It's meant to help you write things, keep your writing even, which I need help with. So they all fit in there nicely. And then I have my crocodile, which fits standing up in there. Just might turn it around that way. And then I have some big rulers. I have this big plastic one. Sometimes I like using that as a tear ruler because it's got some weight behind it. Have this one, which is a special cutting ruler, so it has a metal bar in it, so if you're using a knife you're not going to cut into the plastic of the ruler. Then I have this from my baking paper that has the serrated edge blade on it for tearing if I want to use it. I should actually stick one of my rulers or some firmer card to the back of that to make it a bit firmer. I will do that sometime. So that sits there as well. Might turn that inwards so I don't cut myself with it. Now I do have more rulers. I have two metal ones. I think I like measuring with this one the best, and this one's quite heavy, so I like cutting with it because it's a bit thicker and also ripping. I'm very particular about having to have numerous of the same thing because I like them for different reasons. So they all fit in there nicely. Then I have a fabric rotary cutter, just in case I want to slice up some fabric. I also have some fabric scissors. So they're handy if I'm pulling out my fabric scraps or something, then I've always got these near me to use. And then I have my normal cutting scissors, which have got some sticky stuff on them from my last project. And they sit in there. I used to have all my scissors in the one compartment, but I'd always pull out the wrong ones and use my fabric ones for paper. And then try cutting fabric with these ones, which was hopeless. So I have them in separate compartments now. Then I have these Fiskars Cutters, which my daughter gave me. They're a little bit more heavy duty, so I can keep them for things like rubber and that sort of thing, or heavier cardstock. So they go there. And then I have some smaller scissors, which I don't tend to use much, but these are good because they're non-stick scissors, so it's good to have them in here in case I want to use them. And then I've got these smaller ones as well. I've got a picture in front of me on the computer of where I put stuff in here, so I didn't forget when I was putting them back because I like the way I had it organised this time, even though I think I was already putting things in the wrong spot. I also have some smaller rulers. You never know when you need a smaller ruler or an angle ruler, whatever it's called. So they just slip in the front there. And then I've got the really little scissors. So these are my favourite for fussy cutting, the intricate fussy cutting. So, and they're good for threads as well, and these ones work well for threads, and I have them in there. Sometimes I walk elsewhere with these scissors, like take them out in the lounge or something, so it's always good to have a couple of pairs in here, just in case I come in to do a video or something and I'm hunting around for scissors. So next we will do these things. So this is a binding tool. It's an awl and whatever that bit is. So we are memory keepers one. I must have got them in a set at one stage. And then that's a knife, but it's very loose. I think this one doesn't work very well, so I must fix that one up. So they go, I had them in here, but they might go over there. We will see. Maybe this went over there. Now this is a pick-me-up. I had a lot of trouble, and still do at times, picking up my rhinestones to apply glue to, or my bling. So this has this little tip bit, if I could get the lid off, that it's like glue tack. And you just put it down and it picks up the little rhinestone for you, and then you can hold it on that while you put your glue on or whatever. And then it's got an end bit which you can remove. I think you can remove it, or you remove the tip. You can remove the tip, so that's good. So you can use them separately, pick up your rhinestone, and then when you place it down, you can use this bit to pry the rhinestone off onto the spot where you want it. I think that's how you're meant to use it. I also have 2 bone folders because one's never enough, for the same reason that I go wandering with them sometimes. So I use them a lot, so I might put them there. Now this is the blade that I use the most for my fussy cutting when I'm not using the scissors, which is a Fiskars one. I have a set of blades for this, all different ones, but I keep them in the drawer in my desk, and I just keep this out in case I want to do some cutting. I have this, which is, I think, a stylus that you use to curve your paper for your flowers and stuff, and various other things we use them for. I also have a couple of blades. My other one must have gone walkabout. So just your normal, what do we call them, craft knife, I suppose. I have a thicker one as well, which I use the most. So I'm just thinking now, I don't know if I like, maybe we'll put our bone folders there. And maybe our blades that I use the most to there. That works a bit better. Okay, I've got another ruler here. This one's got a magnetic backing on it. And it's got a bit of weight, so I do use that on occasion. If you think this is a lot, you should see how much stuff I used to have in here. I probably had double the amount of rulers, so... this is a Pokey Tool. It's a bit crooked now because I was using it for poking the holes for my book binding, which I must stop doing because it's not quite sturdy enough for some of the books that I make. So I've bent it pretty bad. But it is so handy for all sorts of things. I can poke holes with it, obviously. I think it's a quilling tool. But I also use it to unblock glue bottles, get the bit that gets stuck in your crocodile out, the paper when you punch it, all sorts of things. Oh, die cuts too, getting the little circle bits out of die cuts and that. It's brilliant, so that goes in there. Now I have a unpicker for unpicking the book binding. I have a pair of non-stick tweezers, which do have a cover, which I found when I tipped everything, all the dust out of this container. I have a nail file. If I ever want to file my nails or anything else, sometimes it's nice to use your emery boards and nail files for filing the edge of, if you stick some paper onto a card, you might want to file around the edges just to neaten the paper off. So that might, it's probably better going in there, that. I also do have emery boards. They tend to work better anyway. These ones I've got recently, and an op shop bag of goodies, so I thought I might as well. I just leave them in here because I wouldn't use them for anything else. And then I've got a bigger one as well. Now, the other day I was sorting out my stickers and rub-ons, and I got heaps and heaps of pop sticks. But then there were these plastic ones, so I thought, well, they would be handy for rub-ons and other stuff, so I might keep 2 of those in here as well. And these can all go where the rest of my pop sticks live. I've got another pair of tweezers. I think these are some sort of surgical ones that the lovely Crafty Dork gave me at one stage, so they're really handy as well. So I will put them, they're best going over there as well. Then I do have some ear cleaners, whatever you call them things, cotton buds. This one's a bit dirty. I use them for glue and all sorts, put them back in there and they collect all the dust. So I think I'll put this one back in there. I do have them elsewhere, a box of them, but I like to use them until they get grotty and then ditch them. So that can go in there. I have a paper clip for when my glue bottles get stuck up again. I'd probably rather use that than my Pokey Tool, so my Pokey Tool doesn't get all glued like this is. So I usually just hang that over the edge of one of my little bits here. I think we're nearly there. Then I have a little Video Easy card. I usually have a big card in here as well for scraping glue and paint and that sort of thing. So, or you can rub it over stuff that you've glued down just to spread the glue out. So I don't know, that sits up there, I think, quite nicely. If I put it behind. And then I have another unpicker just in case I lose the first, or break the first one. And that can go in there because it's tiny. So that is it for those tools. I do have other tools. I am a bit of a tool too, but so that's all nice and tidy for me now, so I'll appreciate the fact that I've done that. So at the end of the video, I will show a photo of how this sits on my desk. I'll just put it to the side for now. Now, the next thing I want to show is on the other side of my desk, and that is how I store my glue. And now it's not all my glue, it's just the stuff that I have handy while I'm crafting. Now, this is a little wire basket. It's a set of 2 drawers that I had sitting around this place forever and just couldn't figure out how to use it effectively. And then one day it dawned on me it might be good for me to put my glues on my desk. So the bottom drawer pulls out like that, and then of course the top drawer pulls out. I don't tend to pull the top drawer out because I don't have to, so but I do pull the bottom drawer out. So I'll show you what goes on the bottom drawer first. Might move it along there and just pull the drawer out. So in there I like to keep, and I'll dust as I go because they need it, my dimensional effects from Deco Art. So that's texture paste. I've got a collage medium, distress collage medium, Tim Holtz I think that is, the Uranger matte medium. I just put the greaseproof paper under the lid so it doesn't stick and it's easier for me to turn. And I also store my cotton wool tips, or my cotton buds, in here as well. And then I did have some gloves in there as well for when I need gloves and that, but they can go elsewhere, I think. So that just sits underneath, and when I want to use them I can just pull it out like that. So it's very easy. So then on top I keep all my other glues, and again I'll give things a bit of a dust. I should have done this beforehand, but you know what it's like. So I think I have that one there, yes I do. And that holds the smaller glues. Because we've got the wire basket, the smaller glues and that can be a bit unsteady, so it's good to have a little basket to put them in. So I've got some of these sort of containers with different types of glue in. I think I've got my Helmers in one, I've got art glitter glue in one, and then I think it's my Kmart fabric glue in the other. So they just sit in here so that they don't fall over everywhere. And that's also where I keep my glue sticks so I can have them standing up and an easy access. And I also have this glue pen that I haven't used yet, but I have a couple of these that I got recently and I thought they can be really handy. Just such a fine tip of glue if you need it. So I'll leave that in there to try and remind me to use it sometime. I have this tile. Now, I've never used it, but it would be good to glue things on. That might even be good to put my wax seals on when I do them. I might try that sometime. So I tend to have that sitting up in there as well. I'm just thinking, which way am I going to put this? Doesn't matter, I'll work it out afterwards. I also have a lid off of, I think it's some cotton wool tips, the lid off of those. And again, I put that down just to steady anything that I put into that position. And I have some Stays On stamp cleaner, a spray water bottle. Now I also have my glue rubber, and that tends to just sit in this little box like that. And then I've got my Helmer's tacky glue, my Kmart fabric glue, and then my Helmer's fabric glue or 450, whichever I have at the time. That sits there usually. At the moment it's getting a bit empty, so I'm actually keeping it lying down elsewhere, but usually it sits there. So it still gives me a bit of room to put other glues and bits and pieces there if I find I need to. But I love how this works, and it's very easy for me to grab the glues that I want and put them away when I'm using them. Okay, so now I will show you my ink storage and some tools. So this is an Alex set of drawers from IKEA. Now it's on casters and it's right next to my work desk, so I can actually turn this around so I can have it next to me, and it gives me more bench space and I can access the drawers really easy. So I'll open the first drawer. So this is my collection of distress inks and oxides. I have been very lucky with my inks and my punches to have got some bulk lots off of Marketplace. So you'll see I've got the big oxides and inks here. I've got stamp blocks and my brushes. I've got big stamp blocks and I've got a bit of foam to try stamping on. I also have these containers here with my smaller inks. This is the top compartment out of a tackle box. I find that really good. It fits them perfectly and I can lift it up and take it if I want to fill it up with the inks I want and go elsewhere with them. I've also got some that I've left in the top of the packaging because they fit really nicely, so that works well. At the back here, I do have some more daubers and ink pads, and I've got some excess inks. Now, what was at the back here? Oh, some more like daubers and that's for my alcohol ink blending tool. And then I think I've got makeup sponges and that sort of thing. In the next drawer, I have all my other inks. So again, a lot of these I've managed to get in bulk from Marketplace, like the stamping spots that you can see over there. So then I've got my Stay-Ons, my archivals. I want to get some more of those. I've got a Versa, Mark and Versa Clear. And then just random cheapy ones as well. I've got a pile of those that have come from here and there in the up shops. So these Alex drawers are such a worthwhile investment, and I really love storing my inks in them. I've thought of other ways of storing them, but I just really like that because I can see what's there quite easily and know where to put them back. So this drawer has some more tools. It has, where's my hand there? Has a stamping press. Then at the back there is, I'll show you a bit better. It's a brush and a mat that you use with your Big Shot. So you can put your die cuts on there and use the brush to help you push all the little cut bits out. And then I also have spare Big Shot plates. And this is a blending foam. And then under that, I've got a whole lot of Eyelet Setters. Even though I have my Big Shot, I come across eyelets in the secondhand shop, which probably won't work in the Big Shot. So I keep all the other Eyelet Setters that I've come across. Over here, this thing is more stamp blocks. Precision Stamper, I think it is. And then these two things are embossing tools that you get, these little embossing plates, and you use your stylus to emboss with. I found them really cheap at the op shops and thought I'd have a play with them sometime. Now this is a punch stapler. So it doesn't have actual staples, but what it does is perforate the paper and push it through the holes or something so it sticks together just on its own, which is quite neat. I've got Spirograph. I used to love that when I was young, and I thought that would be fun to play with sometime. I have a Stamp-A-Majig, which I haven't used yet, but it's meant to help you get your stamps straight. So, now down here I have a selection of my smaller punches. So you can see I've got two things that look like cutlery organisers, but they're actually the top section of these tubs that you can buy at Woolworths and various other places. So they come in a clear tub, and I've used the clear tub to store other things and just removed these sectioned bits for my punches. I find that great because, again, I can just pull out a group of punches and take them to the desk like that. So I'll just remove this one. As you can see, I've got all my little circles and flowers, all sorts of interesting bits and pieces there. And then up the back in these little tubs, I've got, these are like my Carl's punches. So they just slip back there. So here again, I've got another tub that's just got random little punches. And then just some odd punches that don't fit anywhere else, really. You would have seen a lot of these in thrift shop hauls. Now, in this drawer, I have all my big punches. And I love that with these ones, I can push them right to the back, but I can still see what they are because of the little labels they have on them. So yeah, they're all my big punches. And then in the bottom drawer, I have pencils, watercolour crayons that I got from Pam, pastels, just some art bits and pieces that don't fit elsewhere, and they fit in here quite nicely, so I just left them there. So this is how my tool storage sits on my desk. And this is the glue storage that sits on my desk. So I hope that was somewhat interesting for you to see what tools I keep handy and how I store my glues, and some of the other tools that are sort of organised. You know, obviously there's probably more all over the place, but too hard to show you them all without doing a full room tour. So I thought if I just concentrate on the desk and my IKEA drawers, that sort of covers tools and adhesives and inks. So I do have a whole heap more glue because I've picked up bags of the stuff from the op shops, but I keep that in a different place, which I will show you sometime. So take care of yourselves, be good, and hopefully I'll see you again during the week with some more of my silly organisation. Take care, bye. My Kmart fabric glue. Whoop. My Kmart fabric glue. Keep knocking everything over. I'll try that again. My Kmart fabric glue. My Kmart fabric glue